It's Derby Day in Dixie, and Louisville, Kentucky is the mecca for 100,000 fans. And celebrities? Yes, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor are among the headliners. And Steve Hannigan and Ann Sheridan join the merry throng. And Greer Garson and Senator Anderson. Everybody's here and anybody can win. They're in the starting gate, and the curtain rises on 1951's great racing drama. They're off. A nice start by the big field. Off and away after the biggest jackpot in the history of America's #1 turf classic. Look at them come. Fanfare jumped off to an early lead, but it's Phil D, Hall of Fame, Repertoire, and Royal Mustang setting the pace now in the grueling mile-and-a-quarter test of speed and endurance. Repertoire, Phil D, and Hall of Fame are still holding on, but a newcomer joins the front riders in the turn. He's Count Turf, one of the 5 horses hooked up in the mutual field, a relatively unknown 15-to-1 shot. He's got the stuff of champions. Both his father, Count Fleet, and his grandfather, Ray Count, were Derby winners. Heredity tells now as jockey Con McCreary guns Count Turf to the front at the top of the stretch. And all the big money favorites can't catch him now. Count Turf, the Cinderella horse. His owner used to sell peanuts at the ballpark, and his trainer couldn't even get here to see him win. It's Derby Day at Churchill Downs, the big day in horse racing, and more than 100,000 are on hand for the 78th running of the famed classic in Louisville. Fur ties and diamond-studded teeth are part and parcel of the big doings. But there's serious business, too, picking a winner. And they're off in the mile-and-a-quarter run for the roses, and $96,000 in first-place money. Hannibal, number 10, streaks in fast from the outside to beat out the favorite to the first turn. In the backstretch, about halfway around, Eddie Arcaro and Hill Gale take matters into their own hands. 4 times Derby winner Eddie hangs on as the classy Calumet colt opens the gap. The barrel-chested beauty from the bluegrass has a 6-length lead going into the stretch. They said he was a winner, and he looks it. Dixiana Farms' 3-year-old Subfleet gives chase and narrows the gap, but Hill Gale won't be denied. Here's a slow-motion study of a favorite striding to victory. Ridden by an old hand at Derby wins, the big bay son of a Derby winner romps into Turfdom's Hall of Fame with a 2-length victory, and his time only 1/5 of a second over the all-time Derby record. Hill Gale joining the ranks of Derby immortals. Churchill Downs is once again host to racing fans here in Louisville for America's great turf classic, the Kentucky Derby. The day is sunny, the track is fast, and picking a winner is a popular pastime on Derby Day. The day when a gal can wear a different hat, and the mint juleps flow like water. Betting on the big race tops the $1.5 million mark. Favorite is number 1, Native Dancer, Alfred Gwynn Vanderbilt's unbeaten gray colt, seeking his 12th win. 100,000 onlookers, 11 starters, everything is in focus for Diamond Jim Moran. The 79th run for the roses is just about set to go. A press on the button by starter Ruby White will send them off and running. And they're off. 11 3-year-olds out after fame and the winning share of the $118,000 purse. Number 10, Dark Star, comes fast on the outside to take the lead. Dark Star, winner of the Derby trial, is 5th choice of the bettors at 25-to-1, but his star is rising today. The Kane Hoy stable entry holds his lead in the backstretch with the favorite Native Dancer back in the pack. Eddie Arcaro on Correspondent, seeking his 6th Derby win, makes his bid on the final turn, but Correspondent can't keep up the pace. Eric Gurn, up on Native Dancer, makes his move at the top of the stretch, overtaking Correspondent, number 3, and setting his sights on the front-running Dark Star. Is this the end of the victory trail for Native Dancer, or can he make up for lost time? Here's the finish in slow motion, and a thriller. The Dancer, under solid whipping for the first time in his career, closes the gap with every stride. And jockey Henry Marino on Dark Star knows he's got a race on his hands. It's going to be close. It's a heartbreaker for Native Dancer. He gave it a try, but loses by a head to Dark Star, leader all the way, paying his backers handsomely for their support. A $90,000 thoroughbred receives a well-deserved pat from his jockey. Dark Star was a blazing comet today. It's Derby Day, and 100,000 racing fans swarm into Churchill Downs for the 80th running of the famed Kentucky Turf Classic. Diamonds are this man's best friend next to a ticket on the winning horse. And hopes are high as the big field of entries, 17 three-year-olds parade to the post. Correlation is favored to win this richest Derby jackpot ever, $102,000. And they're off. 2 starting gates, 17 starters fighting for the lead, causing a real traffic jam. The start of one of the roughest derbies ever run. The run for the Roses is underway with a rush. Pace setter from the start and still leading in the backstretch, Hasty Road, biggest horse in the race. But the smallest makes his bid on the turn. Determined his name and determined his nature. Coming fast at the head of the stretch, overtaking the front-running Hasty Road and hightailing it for home with jockey Ray York up. Look at him go. It's a precedent-shattering finish for Determined, the California-owned Kentucky-bred half-pint. Smallest horse to score in the Romp of the Roses, and the first gray to win the classic that's been running since 1875. He had a rough time back there at the start, but that's all forgotten now, as Determined streaks for the wire. Hasty Road is hot on his heels, but he wins by a length and a half. Determined, a little horse with a great big heart.
$19.55, 81st running of the Kentucky Derby. $108,000 to the winning owner. 125 colts nominated. Only 10 accept the challenge. Bill Corum, a happy guy, the president of Churchill Downs. Same goes for Diamond Jim Moran. And how about a mint julep in Louisville? Love it any day of the week. You can have one, ladies. Just wait your turn. And there's the favorite, Nashua with Eddie Carroll. There's Georgie Jessel. He must like Swaps, the Californian, with Willie Shoemaker. Well, these two can't make up their mind, but these folks can. They're in there and ready to go. Now the timer's flag is up. The starter's ready. They're in the gate. And they're off. And that's Nashua broke on top with Honey's Alibi, Trim Destiny. And Swaps rushes on the outside. Now Swaps gets the lead. Trim Destiny on the rail. That is Nashua and Summit 10 on the outside. Now they moved into the back stretch, and Swaps leads by about a half a length. Trim Destiny's on the inside second. Then it is Nashua and Summer 10, but they're turning for home. And who's the leader? Swaps is out there. Willie's got him going good. He's about 3/4 of a length in front of Nashua. Swaps. Nashua on the outside trying hard, but Shoemaker's got Swaps in hand, now leads by 2 lengths with a 16th to go. Swaps and Nashua battling down the Churchill Downs stretch in the Kentucky Derby, and here comes the finish. It's going to be Swaps winning a length and a half. Nashua second, Summer 10 third. A front-running score for Willie Shoemaker on Swaps in the 1955 Kentucky Derby.
100,000 lovers of the turf jam Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky for the 82nd Run for the Roses. It's the richest Kentucky Derby in history, and there's a field of 17 thoroughbreds in the racing classic, with Needles, number 3, the heavy favorite. They're off, a good start on a fast track. For the winners, there's more than $167,000 in prize money. Past the stands and heading for the first turn, it's Ben A. Jones leading, with Needles running far back. Now Coming around the home turn and into the stretch, Needles makes his move from deep in the pack. You can see him now as jockey Dave Erb sends him out to the middle of the track for this spectacular bid. And it's a thrilling finish as Needles sprints past one tiring horse after the other. Near the wire, he catches the leader, Fabius, and goes on to win. In third spot is a surprising long shot. Come on, Red. It's a triumph popular with the crowd. Needles becomes a turf immortal with a jackpot of $123,450.
Here is Churchill Downs, where they've been running the Kentucky Derby since 1875. And here come the fans and the fanciers of hoss flesh, 90,000 of them on a cold, windy day. Cold enough for a hot toddy, but tradition dictates a mint julep. Here, too, is the veteran trainers, Sonny Jim Fitzsimmons and Bold Ruler, 6-5 favorite. Here is Bill Coram, genial Derby host, and Kentucky's Governor, Happy Chandler, host for his state. Another perennial Derby personality is Diamond Jim Moran. But now bring on the thoroughbreds. General Duke has been scratched, but stablemate Iron Liege is running. Number 5 is Gallant Man, Willie Shoemaker up. Eddie Arcaro is on Bold Ruler, the favorite. But it's no day for favorites, and there's real drama in the making. All eyes on the starting gate. And here they come, 9 3-year-olds off and away in the mile and a quarter classic that's worth $107,000 to the winner. Federal Hill sets the pace with Bold Ruler and Iron Liege close behind. Ben Jones of Calumet Farm sees his Iron Liege close the gap in the backstretch. Willie Hartag, who was to have ridden General Duke, is on board and doing fine. The top of the stretch, Federal Hill has run out of gas. Iron Liege is ahead with Gallant Man closing the gap. Now watch closely, things happen fast. Willie Shoemaker on Gallant Man has victory in his grasp. Slowly he pulls abreast, then ahead of Iron Liege. Just another 16th to go. Then it happens. Shoemaker misjudges the finish line, stands up in the stirrups, and Iron Liege wins by a nose. Closest Derby finish in 24 years. Iron Liege and Willie Hartack reap roses and riches for Calumet Farms.
Churchill Downs packed to capacity for the Kentucky Derby. Mint juleps and Silky Sullivan on everybody's lips. There are 13 other horses in the race, including Tim Tam, Jules Reward, Lincoln Road, and Nureddin. But in the post-parade, Silky, number 11, is the star. Now for the big moment. And they're away. 14 of the nation's top 3-year-olds. Silky, Jules Reward, and Tim Tam have been made favorites by the crowd. But racing into the first turn, Lincoln Road has the lead with Warren G, Gone Fishin', and Ebony Pearl leading the rest of them around the bend. But as expected, some 30 lengths behind the leaders comes Silky Sullivan bringing up the rear. Lincoln Road leading the field into the far turn as Silky finally makes his move, passing one horse. Can he ever catch those fleet-footed leaders? The answer comes fast on the turn for home. Lincoln Road still showing the way as Tim Tam moves up to challenge. Silky's not in sight as Tim Tam streaks after the leader. Heading for the wire, Lincoln Road keeps right on going, and Tim Tam has one horse to beat. In dramatic slow-motion film, we see the thrilling two-horse duel to the finish. Lincoln Road on the rail, Tim Tam nearest the camera. Jockey Milo Valenzuela, who substituted for the injured Hartack, on Tim Tam riding the race of his life. With only yards to go in the long mile-and-a-quarter race, Tim Tam gradually overtakes the speeding 45-1 long shot. In a thrilling photo finish, Tim Tam wins by half a length, the 1958 Kentucky Derby champ. The thermometer registers 90 degrees for the hottest Kentucky Derby on record. Mint julep weather, sir. But that's nothing compared to the feverish excitement which is to come. Like a thundering herd, they're away in the run for the roses. 17 3-year-olds bidding for undying fame. First Landing with Eddie Arcaro riding, Tommy Lee with Willie Shoemaker in the saddle, Sword Dancer with Bill Boland up. Tops among the big name entries. Right now you see number 13, Troilus, with number 8, Tommy Lee, close behind, setting the early pace. Running along the outside and in a contending position as Troilus fades is Sword Dancer, never worse than fourth and now making his move for the lead. Tommy Lee's right with him. There are many unusual incidents. Shoemaker on Tommy Lee yells to Boland on Sword Dancer, "Hope you take it." Then, according to Boland, Tommy Lee on the rail bumps Sword Dancer on the outside, and Boland yells, "Foul." Here's the hair-raising finish. Locked as one, Tommy Lee and Sword Dancer straining for the wire. By inches, it's Tommy Lee home first. But Boland's claim of interference holds up the official announcement. 18 minutes elapsed before the stewards approved Shoemaker's victory on Tommy Lee. The Derby's rarely known greater drama.